Hello, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to this week's cooking show where we will be cooking a risotto Milanese. Now this recipe is a 52-minute recipe, so I'm going to go straight into the actual recipe loading of the containers, preparing the utensils and the pans already in position. So because it's a 52-minute recipe, risotto Milanese, a very popular Italian dish, and I'm going to actually start preparing the ingredients. But as I am preparing, please do send in your comments, any questions, and during the actual whole process, I'll be able to answer them for you. So let's go straight into the recipe. I'll show you how we load it into the tablet, and you'll see the arm in operation as soon as it's loaded and all confirmed. So let's go straight to the tablet and I'll show you how this recipe is loaded and cooked from start to finish. So first of all, if we go into our recipes, you'll see our installed ingredients. We're going to go down the menu and select Risotto Milanese, and this one over here. Now here we have a clear indication of the kind of ingredients that you require for this particular recipe in terms of the ingredient itself and the quantity. We also show you the equipment that you require for this particular recipe to be cooked. It's the medium pot and a slotted spatula, and together with all our recipes we have nutritional facts in terms of carbohydrates, protein, sodium, which is salt, fat content and so on, which is quite important because a lot of people need to know exactly what's in their recipes nowadays. So let's go straight in, start loading. So we go by, we're going to do a robotic cook today, so we go start robotic cook. Now it tells you, it's a very diagrammatic view of the workstation here where the robot is positioned, and here we'll go step by step with each ingredient. So first of all, let's go straight to the olive oil. Now the olive oil is in its containers already on the shelf. I'm going to select that it's in position 1 and confirm it's in position. We then have brown onions and garlic. Gives you a selection of points on the shelf where you can locate the container, but I'm going to locate it at the bottom shelf at this point here. On all our recipes we also have diagrams of the videos of how to prepare the ingredient as well, whether the onions need dicing, chopping and so on, just to make sure you get the recipe exactly the way it should be cooked. So I can confirm location number 1. So let's start loading the workstation with that particular recipe, with that ingredient, sorry. So I'll confirm that's going to be going into that location. We then go to the arborio rice and Maldon sea salt. Gives you 2 locations on the bottom shelf. I'm going to locate it on the left side. So I'm going to confirm this location. The rice is already prepared and weighed in the container, and that's in position, and so on. So you continue doing that with all the ingredients. Here we have the white wine and the saffron, location number 1 at the top. Sorry, number 2 at the top. There we go. Then we have the vegetable stock, location at number 1 on the top shelf, which is one of these containers. Now this particular recipe requires a lot of stock, so you'll find that a lot of those containers are repeated, and we'll add the different containers on to the shelf. So that's at location number 3. Here we go, location number 3. And so on, another vegetable stock container. Location number 4. Confirm. And vegetable stock in a long container, and that's going to be positioned at the bottom shelf, the right hand side. So there we go. So that's all the stock loaded. I'll come to the cheese, the parmesan and the butter shortly, because I want to show you how our scales are integrated into the system. So not only does it indicate the type of ingredient and the weight, but it also allows you to weigh the ingredients using our system as well. So let's go straight to the black pepper. Now the black pepper is in a simple pepper grinder, off-the-shelf pepper grinder that we use to have our salt and pepper. So that's located at the number 1 location along the top, and it's already in position, so I'll confirm that. And the mold and sea salt on the left-hand side, that's already in position, and that's confirmed. And so, yeah, I was going to show you how to do the integrated scale system. Now, here we have cheese and Parmesan and butter. So, first of all, let's put the Parmesan in. So, select the container. It shows you it needs the large container on the bottom shelf. So, my container is ready. I'm now going to put that onto the scales, locate the container. So first ingredient is going to be the Parmesan. So it says here 70 grams of Parmesan required. Now to save a bit of time, I've already prepared the Parmesan. So it should be exactly 70 grams. Let's measure that in. Let's turn the scales on. And there you go. There, now it's all connected and it's integrated into the tablet with the AI system. So we've got 70 grams required. So we've got 12 grams, 15. 19, 30, 43, 50, 60, 68. Well, that's close enough. That's 68 grams of Parmesan, which will be going into the recipe. So that's 68 grams done, which is close to 7 grams. That's fine. Let's now do the butter. Let's put it down to 0. And now we require 50 grams of unsalted butter. Now, all our recipes, we tend to sort of like pick recipes that are quite healthy in terms of the salt content, fat content, and so on. So we need to make sure that, you know, all the recipes are healthy. So here we have 50 grams. That's exactly 50 grams. So now this can be loaded onto the shelf. So I'll confirm the location, and that's going to be on the bottom shelf in the large container holder there. So that's all done. Next stage is now preparing the equipment. So the equipment on this one required is only a medium pot and a slotted spatula. So medium pot, there's already an indication of where the pot should go. That's already in location and locked into position there. And that's perfect, so I'll confirm that. And also the slotted spatula, it gives you a section of hooks that you can use on the system here. It's at location number 1, which is there. Also, if you notice, all the imagery is very, very clear. It's almost like it really can't make any mistakes because it tells you which angle to have the spatula and which direction. So that's really important when it comes to stirring because it needs to be stirred properly, especially this dish with risotto. Risotto requires a lot of stock and a lot of stirring. So it shows you clearly how to position the spatula. So that's confirmed in position number 1. Yep, that's all done. So let's start cooking. So, as I mentioned before, this does cooks all the recipes from start to finish. There's nothing else for me to do apart from just watch it cook. Now for 52 minutes, it's quite a long time to stand over the hob and cook a dish like this. I don't think a lot of people enjoy cooking risotto only purely because of the time it takes, but the actual end result is very tasty. So the cooking is started. As you saw there, it turned on the hob. It also controls the temperature and everything's timed for this particular recipe. Now the chef is already cooked this recipe and made sure it gets the right taste and the right finish and the right consistency and everything. All the information is given to our team here in London, and we then test the recipe on the system with a robotic arm, and then it's uploaded into the recipe library. Now our recipe library, we've got about 50 recipes at the moment, and on a monthly basis we had about 2 to 3 recipes per month. We do lots of different types of cuisine. We do worldwide cuisine, vegan, vegetarian, low calorie, lots of healthy recipes in our library as well. This is risotto, one of them we've cooked this several times, and the good thing about having the Moley arm cook this particular recipe is that every time it is cooked, it's very consistent and it tastes the same every single time. So, great to see people joining. Please do now send in any questions or comments you may have, and I'll be more than happy to answer them as you watch the Moley arm cooking this particular recipe. So as I said, this is, it cooks from start to finish. Now the beauty of cooking a recipe from start to finish is it saves you a lot of time. In 52 minutes you could potentially be working from home. You could carry on working whilst this is doing your cooking the evening meal or lunch even. And even other things, you can be cooking this during the weekend. You could be enjoying time with your friends and family. During the week, you could be cooking this, spending time with the children, helping them with the homework, preparing for school. There's so many benefits of robotic arm helping you cook lots of different recipes. We do lots of different recipes from Spanish, Italian, Indian. We can do butter chicken, we can do lamb keema. We do a couple of sweet dishes there as well. And we do a lot of worldwide recipes. We do Shah cuisine as well, which is from Spain, which is a very, very healthy selection of recipes, which is high in nutrition, very low in calorie. And at the end of the day, we all want a healthy lifestyle. And with these recipes and our robotic arm, we can create and execute lots of these healthy recipes for you. So, so here you can see, also on our tablet, you'll probably notice in the background a voice notification. So you could be anywhere else in the room or in a side room, for example, not necessarily in the kitchen. At least you can hear what's going on in terms of the cooking process, and knowing that, you know, it's a 52-minute recipe. You may want to know when it's ready 10 minutes before. At least you know when the last performance is done via the voice notification. You can then start preparing the table to eat the meal, or finish working, or finish with the kids, or even 52 minutes you could watch something on TV, for example, take the dog for a walk even. So yeah, lots of benefits in terms of time saving. Now the ingredients are all fresh ingredients. A massive, we have placed a lot of emphasis on food wastage. Now, unfortunately, in this country, there's a lot of food wasted from our fridges. There's about 150,000 tons of food wasted. This kind of like gives you the opportunity to have fresh ingredients on the go. So really you can just cook, order your ingredients. We also have on our system a get ingredient function, where you can actually send yourself a reminder to somebody's phone or to your phone to get some ingredients. And again, we'll be developing that system in terms of, you know, ingredient delivery later on, and we'll announce that on the website in terms of how to get these fresh ingredients. So that reduces wastage, and obviously the CO2 emission that reduces because less carbon footprint, less use of the fridge. So, you know, it's all beneficial for the environment as well. So please, do fire in your questions, any comments you have. I'll be happy to read them out and also answer anything that I can answer on the spot. If there's anything technical, I can always get the team to get back to you with any technical questions and answers. We have the showroom here in London, based in the heart of London, Wigmore Street, which is a big family of luxury kitchen manufacturers and appliance manufacturers. And so we're in a great location. You can also visit us here in the showroom. We're open Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. And please do come in, have a look, maybe taste some of the food as well, and really get to see how the system works. It's available for sale. It's the world's first AI robotic kitchen, ready for the market. We supply both the residential and the commercial, and we can certainly make systems, especially for the commercial side. We can design systems according to your requirements, sending workflow of your particular recipes, and we'll be able to have a look at that and see how we can help. For the residential side, we have the unit here, which is, if it's bought separate to the kitchen, it's called the chef's table. Now the chef's table comprises of everything you see here in front of yourself. So you've got the induction hob, you've got the pans, you've got the utensils, you've got the containers. This really nice Japanese style shelving with the bamboo finish, which is really nice. So we include everything you see here. The downdraft extractor is also included. That's got a recirculating system, so it filters the smell coming off the actual pan, sucks it through, filters it, and turns that into fresh air. But that also can be ducted. So we can more or less design. We do design and implementation from here in the showroom. If you want to integrate it into a new kitchen, we can certainly help you with the rest of the architecture. You know, we just need the floor plans. You can either email them across to us, to visit our contact us page on the website, or come into the showroom with your dimensions, or send any email, whatever you want to do. But we can certainly design that for you. So this is do a chef's table, which can also be integrated into an existing kitchen. So if you've got a space of, say, about 9 to 10 square feet, we can actually integrate a system into your current kitchen as well. We can also design it onto an island. We can introduce worktops. We do all the different types of finishes in terms of lacquered and veneered. Lots of different types of mechanisms for the furniture as well. So exactly like a luxury kitchen interior, but you can have the added benefit of the robotic arm to help you cook all the recipes. It's almost like having a chef in your own home. Mentioning chefs, we work with a lot of chefs, Michelin-star chefs and well-known chefs in terms of recipes and recipe development. And for example, Tim Anderson, we work with him in terms of getting his recipes on in our recipe cloud library. And we're always looking for other chefs, so we're open to healthy recipes, really fine dining in your own home. So we can really create these recipes as you would eat them in a restaurant. Great, see people joining. Got a question in from Illustra Draw. When on sale? It's on sale now, actually. So we opened our showroom around about the back end of last year, January this year. And since opening, we've had so many inquiries. It's going absolutely crazy at the moment, which is fantastic. But no, we are on sale now. So we can supply you the whole system. We're certified for the UK and for Europe. And so we can supply without any problems. Just send in your details on the contact us form, and we'll get in touch, and we'll show you, go through the whole process of pricing, the structure, and so on, and availability, and look at your design as well. So yeah, please do get in touch. Okay, great to see more people joining. That's great. So as you saw, it's put all the rice in. It's already put the onions in. Now it's going to partially cook the rice with the onions to get the flavour. We've also used saffron in this dish as well. The saffron gives it a really nice depth of flavour as well. And all the ingredients here are exactly the same as what the chef would have used in terms of measurements, and all the timing and the cooking and the scraping and the stirring is exactly the same way as a chef would have cooked this particular meal. So as I said, this is a 52-minute recipe now with risotto. It's quite a laborious dish to make, but I could be, for example, I could be a Friday afternoon, could be finishing a bit early today, so I've put it on now. I could be finishing off some emails, finishing off some last meetings for the day, and I know that in 52 minutes when I come back into the kitchen, my dinner's ready, or the family can start eating. Or 52 minutes, I can start clearing away all the instruments that I use to prepare all the ingredients, and it just saves me a lot of time. It's very, very convenient and very healthy, as you can see as well. The actual utensils here that we use that we find quite efficient is the KitchenAid utensils. You can probably see here we've got a blender as well. Now we can also make a sweet potato and coconut soup, and soups are quite a popular dish for a lot of people. And what we are able to do is, again, cook the whole soup dish from start to finish. So it's able to get the blender, use the blender, blend in the actual soup to its finished consistency, and put it back in position. So there is no need for me to do anything apart from just watch it cook the whole recipe. So we're going to do weekly posts. So over the last few weeks, we've done lots of different recipes. We've done gnocchi, we've done spaghetti puttanesca. We've done quite a few recipes so far, and it's great to see people going back into our web pages and different platforms that we use to watch these videos. Obviously, at that time, if they had any questions, we've got a website contact us page, so just send us any questions, any queries that you'd like. So I've got a question here from Kambala. Do the ingredients need to be laid out in a particular order? No particular order is required. As you saw on the tablet, there's areas that it does recommend where you can locate the ingredients. The order in terms of the cooking process, the cooking process already has the order in place in terms of onions and the rice and the parmesan and the butter. It gives you recommended locations on here. So for example, if I put the saffron and white wine in a different location, as long as I've confirmed it on the tablet it's in that location, it will go and pick it up from there. So you can actually dictate the order using the recommended spots on the shelving system. And also you see it's quite accurate in its cooking process. There's not much mess on there at all. It's probably the same, a few little speckles here and there. It's same as you would as if you were cooking this yourself, or even if a chef was cooking this. So it's really cooking to exactly the way a chef would probably cook this recipe, right down to the last detail, and even down to timing and temperature and everything. So even it makes the adjustments on the induction hob as well. If there's an adjustment that needs to be made, it can do that at the same time as well. So the whole process is completely done by the robotic arm. It's great to see more people joining. That's great. Thank you, guys. So the robotic arm itself, it's a simple plug-in system. Only requires 500 watts of energy, so it's like you plug it in like you do with any other appliance. It comes complete with the control box and everything you need to run the system. There's quite a heavy-duty aluminium frame underneath to keep the arm in position, so there's no movement. It's all high precise movements, and the precision on the robotic arm is fantastic. As you can see also on the tablet, you can see a notification as to the position of the particular recipe, how far down the process it's been cooked. And that we use a flagging system also for every part of each particular movement. That just enables you to have a look at the recipe, how far it's from cooking, and so on. Now, we get a lot of frequently asked questions about our system. One of them is about the cost and how much does it cost. So the whole system starts from around about 80,000, and the 80,000 gets you the whole system in terms of the hob, the containers, the utensils, the worktop, robotics, and everything you see here basically. And like I said before, it can be integrated into an existing kitchen, or we can integrate that into a new kitchen which we can design from here for you. So we can do all that here from London, from our London showroom, based on Wigmore Street, heart of London, which is adjacent to Oxford Street. Wigmore Street, and yeah, it's a great location, so if you do get an opportunity to please come and visit us here in the showroom. So I'll just go through a few other questions that a lot of people have been asking us in the past. Do the ingredients need to be prepared by the user before starting a recipe? So the robotic chef can cook the meal from start to finish. The ingredients do need to be prepared. Now, some of these ingredients you can already have them delivered to you, chopped and prepared. But majority of the ingredients here you do have to prepare. The parmesan is already grated parmesan, so there's not much work required in there. The onions that we have already diced onions. The stock and everything else already in the stock containers that we had delivered. So there's not really much preparation that was required for this particular recipe. We simply took them out their own containers, their own packaging. We weighed it with our integrated scale system, and we simply just loaded the containers and put them on the shelves ready for cooking. Another frequently asked question was, can I add my own recipes? Yes, you can. So what we tend to do is ask people to send in the recipe request, and once you purchase the unit and so on, we can add your recipes to the recipe library. But send the recipe in, send in as much information in terms of videos and ingredient quantities and so on. And our in-house chef here at Moley, James Taylor, will look at the recipe, redesign it if required, because there are some generic movements that the robotic arm already has. So whether we can use the generic movements already pre-programmed, or we can pre-program or reprogram a different movement if required for a particular recipe. So yeah, we can cook your own recipe. And the beauty of that is that your recipe is in the Recipe Cloud library, and it can be shared around the world. So that's quite an amazing thing to have. So these traditional recipes from your mums, from your dads, from your grandparents, from your siblings, from your friends, you can share their recipes, and everybody can enjoy. Is the kitchen available in the US? So currently, I mentioned earlier, the certification is for UK and Europe. So US certification and Far East certification is in process, and we'll make an announcement on the website as soon as we're ready. But we only opened the showroom in January this year officially, so it's taken a little bit of time to get the other certification for different regions. But for UK and for Europe, we're up and ready, no problem. We can sell within those two regions without any issues at all. So as I said, we opened in January this year, but the actual robotic system was invented in 2014 by Mark Olienic. He's a computer scientist and a healthcare innovator. And he wanted to really bring fine dining and good healthy eating to people's homes, not only for residential, but also for the commercial market as well. So he embarked on designing a robotic system, totally independent from any human interaction. And he came up with the robotic arm that can cook just like a chef would cook a particular meal. So we embarked on that, designed in 2014. A lot of R&D went into the production of the arm, working out of an office in Hammersmith, carrying on with lots of R&D, a massive team of really good, highly experienced, highly skilled engineers and hardware and software engineers, and really came up with this. What evolved is this single arm system that still can do exactly the same, which can cook a meal from start to finish. That's the key thing. But not only cooking the meal, but also healthy eating as well. Our focus is really on healthy dishes. A lot of dishes with low calorie, but healthy and very nutritional as well. At the end of the day, we want a healthy lifestyle, and if the Moley robotic arm can give you loads of recipes that you can choose from, every week you can have a different selection of recipes per week. But if they're healthy, it's very important. So it's healthy lifestyle is a key thing for us. Okay, let's see if there's any more questions on our social pages. Got a question in from Mr. R. Dickon. Do you plan to be available in Africa? Obviously, our plans are to be available everywhere, but obviously we go through strict guidelines in terms of CE marking and testing and safety. Now, getting certification, there are a lot of requirements, safety requirements that we have to pass, but we are CE marked. We are CE marked for UK and Europe. We've got all the iOS safety standards, safety of machinery, safety of collaboration, of integration within a kitchen environment. So yes, soon we will be, but you can actually buy through the UK and through the European market itself. We don't have to send the unit out to your particular region to make a purchase. You'd have to cover customs, excise and duties and tax and so on, but you can make the purchase through UK and through Europe without any problems, and it's just an added cost of customs and tax and so on. But we can help with any documents required for certification. We can supply you all the certification documents required for taking this particular unit into a different country. we can provide a full file on that to help you through the relevant shipping companies. Another frequent asked question is, are there different robot models? Yes, well, the model we have here, this is our X-Air model. And we also have the chef's table, which is basically what you see here on almost like a standalone system. And we also have the B-Air system, which is the one just behind me. You can probably just see on the wall there. That's a system where it's in a lot more compact environment. So if you're limited on space, if you haven't got space to have this peninsula design, or if you haven't got space to have an island incorporated into your kitchen, we can incorporate it into almost like a galley type style, where everything's basically on one wall. So we can do a one wall design. The actual depth of the kitchen is slightly deeper than standard. It's only because of the actual framework required underneath, and also the distances required between the arm and the shelving. There's like a minimum requirement. So standard is about 600 depth from wall to front of worktop. With a compact version, you're looking at from wall to front of worktop about 750 mil. It's only 150 mil difference. But nowadays, a lot of people like to have deep worktops in their kitchens now, to give them a nice big workstation and so on. So we feel that that's an actual benefit to have a deeper worktop. So it allows you to get the robotic arm and a nice deep work surface as well. It's great to see more and more people joining. That's fantastic. Hope you're enjoying the cooking show so far. This is a risotto Milanese. A really nice tasty dish. A lot of Parmesan cheese in this. Not much salt, I would say. The butter is unsalted, so it's healthy butter. So it's a very healthy risotto dish, this one. And we've got white wine and saffron. Now, for example, if somebody didn't want to have white wine, if they don't have any alcohol, you can actually substitute the white wine to, say, extra bit of stock. So you can really sort of like manipulate the recipes and the ingredients to your own tasting. Even with the salt, we had salt with the rice, for example. You can either have a much smaller amount of salt, or you can have zero salt if you don't want to put any salt in this particular recipe as well. But the robot will still cook the recipe for you. Just because there's no salt in there doesn't mean it won't cook it. It will just go through the whole process and cook it regardless of what you put in there. So it's really flexible in those terms. JM, how many robot arms have you sold? So we've got quite a few pre-orders at the moment that we're working on. And as I mentioned, we only opened in January. So we've got quite a few pre-orders. So we're going through the process of creating the paperwork, doing the designs, and finalizing on some of the costs. Because a lot of these ones on the pre-orders, they've got some integrated furniture as well. So it's not only just a robotic arm, but you've got the added furniture, you've got the work surfaces, you've got the wall units, the systems that we use for the drawer units, the servo drive systems. We do servo drives on the wall units where the doors open automatically and they close automatically. So we do all the actual appliances as well. So we work closely with people like Moley and Gaggenau and Siemens, who are also based here in Wigmore Street. And also we work closely with some of the other luxury kitchen manufacturers as well. So yeah, we've got in the pipeline's looking very good, and we have sold quite a few in terms of pre-orders. So yeah, if you're still interested, just send in your details and we'll be happy to do give you a proposal based on your requirements. So, as you saw, there's a lot of stirring involved in this particular dish with risotto in general. We even do a risotto with mushrooms. We do risotto with lots of different other ingredients as well. But this one is just purely quite a simple risotto dish. But again, with all risottos, they require a lot of stirring. And for 52 minutes, you know, on a hot day like this, the last thing you want to be doing is standing over a hob and constantly be walking. I can be watching the actual recipe being cooked on my phone, for example. So there's lots of advantages of our system. So what is the lead time for the machine? So the lead time currently is about 3 to 6 months. We could do it in 2 stages. If it's got some furniture as part of the supply, we can install the furniture first, install the first phase of your kitchen and the robotics after. But if you're happy to wait for the full period, we're looking at about sort of like 4 to 6 months with the robotic system as well. So in general, the whole kitchen, you're looking at about 3 to 6 months. We've had lots and lots of different types of questions. Some of the most funniest questions are, for example, what if my pet jumps onto the table? So we have a safety protocol. So we have a safety button. I don't think you can see it in the camera here, but we have a safety button that's required on all the models, which you can simply just press. So if anything happens, some sudden interaction whilst the robot arm is cooking, you can actually press the emergency button and the whole operation will stop. It will basically, the whole system will shut down. You can put it into safe mode and then you can resume. That's one of them. If another thing could happen is if you accidentally had a container positioned incorrectly and there's some sort of collision, the actual robotic arm will pause. You'll get a voice notification of the issue, or a voice notification saying in general there's an error of some sort. You just identify what error it is, you just make an adjustment, maybe just pull the container out, put it back in the correct position, and then the robotic arm will go back into the previous movement and you press resume and it will continue to cook where it left off basically. So yeah, please do keep your questions coming in. If there's anything else you'd like to know about the robotic arm, just send in a question. I'll answer that for you as best as I possibly can. It smells great, by the way. I can really smell the onions and the rice and the saffron. Now the saffron's gone in, you can really get that sort of like sweet smell of saffron almost with the wine. With the wine, it's really starting to cook out really nicely. And you notice all the movements. Not only is it just pouring in the ingredients and stirring, but the spatula is also stirring in a particular way to make sure it's cooked from the top to the bottom. It's stirred from the top to the bottom. And also you notice the scraping as well, because with the dishes like this, you do get a bit of residue on the spatula. So even if a chef was cooking it, he'll be scraping the spatula on top of the pan. And we make sure we include that movement as well. So this is really cooked exactly the way a chef would have cooked this particular meal. So it's almost identical to a human cooking this meal. Got a question in from Showray RST. How long is the warranty? Now the warranty, as I mentioned before, you've got lots of different appliances. For example, you've got your manufacturer's warranty in terms of the hob. This one here is a Moley. So you've got the Moley guarantee. You've also got the 1-year warranty on the arm as well, which can be extended. So you can extend the warranty. But the actual arm has been tested for 35,000 hours. So in terms of like average cooking times and so on, you're probably looking at about a decade's worth of cooking without having to do anything to the arm at all. Servicing, if you want to service the arm, we can include a service package. But again, the servicing, there's not much to really do in terms of servicing. I would probably say once every 24 months, maybe. We can do a service. We can just do like a visual check using the vision system, or we can just come out and, if anything, it's just really just a clean up. We'll just give it a good clean. There's nothing to change. No washers, no O-rings, no bearings, no nothing. It's already contained. It's already a sealed unit, and that sealed unit's been tested for 35,000 hours. So that's really quite a lot less to worry about, and a lot of peace of mind as well. Jan Frans Vandenberg, hi from Belgium. Hi Jan Frans, thanks for joining. Do you have a question? Please do send in a question, no problem. Shohei RST, so thanks. Do we have to use that Miele hob? Yeah, yes, you do need to use the Miele hob, but you can also use the Siemens one as well. Now, the reason why we've gone for Miele and Siemens is because of the location points of the on-off, the temperature control, and the selection of the cooking zones. As you can see, it's completely flush, and it's all touch control. There's no buttons, so that's an advantage. And secondly, the distances between each of the controls are perfect for the robotic gripper, because there's enough distance in there so it doesn't interfere with any other actions on the particular hob. So Miele and Siemens we find are most efficient in terms of accuracy as well. Also the downdraft, the output on the downdrafts are very good for both the Siemens and the Miele. Even on the recirculation setup, it's got quite a high output in terms of extracting the fumes and the smells, and similar to the one on the Siemens as well. So Miele and Siemens are the two main ones that we tend to work with. But it doesn't mean that because you have Miele, everything else has to be Miele. You can just have this totally independent in terms of just the Miele for the hob. And your other appliances like the integrated fridge freezers, the integrated dishwashers, and anything else you have in the kitchen. That can be from a different manufacturer, so it doesn't dictate what you'd have to have for the rest of the kitchen. You can actually select a different appliance or a different appliance manufacturer. So Jean-Franz from Belgium, yes. So what is the price for the system? So you might have missed that earlier. So we're looking at about 80,000 for the single chef's table system, which is basically everything you see here. That doesn't include the laptop, by the way. But everything you see here. So you've got the hob, you've got the pans, you've got the utensils, you've got the cookware, you've got the containers. You can actually buy extra sets of containers if you wanted to. So we've got this initial set that comes with the system. But say, for example, you've prepped one meal here and you want to have something ready for, say this is an afternoon meal, some sort of lunch or supper, but you want something else later on in the evening. You can actually add more containers, keep them ready, have them in the fridge, already weighed and loaded and chopped and prepared. Simply take them out of the fridge, take the top, put them on the shelf, select it on your tablet and press play. It's really that simple, so simple to use. Jean-Franz, do you have a catalogue with prices? We do have a catalogue, yes, and there's some price indications on there as well. So if you would like to contact me via the website, go to the Contact Us page and just send in your request for the PDF catalogue, and I'll send you one. And I'll see all the emails that come through our CRM anyway, so I'll see your inquiry and I'll send you a brochure. Another question from Showray RST. Do you do any demonstrations with the other models that show how the arms interact with ovens? So yes, we can certainly show you how the B-Air system works. The compact arm works in conjunction with the shelves and the hob and so on, but not so on the ovens at the moment. It's something we're working on. Currently it's purely using the hob, exactly like you see here, but against the wall in a more compact environment. So that system's up and running, and that's also ready for sale as well. But I would suggest, if you're based here in the UK, come and see us. So come and see us Monday to Friday. We're open 10 to 5, and I'll show you how that system works. And you can probably just see in the distance there, we have a tablet control in this. So this one is controlled via a tablet, whereas the B-Air system, you can have a large 4K screen, high resolution screen, the graphical user interface. That could be positioned on in one of the units on the other side of the kitchen, for example, and that gives you a nice bigger visual, and that does exactly what the tablet does, as you saw in the video previously. So, but yeah, come and visit us, and I'll show you how the B-Air arm works, and we can cook something for you, and you can taste a meal cooked solely, completely by the robotic arm. You've got 50 recipes to choose from, so you tell us what you want, and we'll pop in and we'll do a demo. But we're doing demos every Friday now. We do these live shows, and we do so many different, we've got plans for doing so many different recipes every Friday around 3 p.m. And so if you want to see something different next week, then just tune in and I'll show you a different recipe next week. Some of our recipes that we've already done, some of the posts that we've already created already on YouTube or Instagram. You can go back in and just have a look at those videos as well. Just have a look at all of them, see how the system really works. And after you've seen one of them, you basically get the general idea of how this is. And it's so simple to use, so simple to use. So this recipe is 85%. If you go back to the actual tablet and the notification, you'll see that it's 86% complete. And so, like I said, if I was at home watching this being cooked, I would say 86%. I would start prepping the table. I'd start shutting down my work for the day. I'd start clearing it up and getting the table set and ready. Shouting to the kids, say, come down, dinner's nearly ready. And at least that way, you know, it gives you a bit more control as to timing. So a lot of people like to eat this really hot. So you want to eat it almost when it's ready. So you can just, as soon as it's finished cooking the recipe, out of the pot, straight into the bowl, and you can start enjoying it. If you don't want to eat it straight away, we also got to add another function whereby a lid can be put on top of the pan. So if you want to eat, say, maybe 10, 15 minutes later, you can simply have the lid on, keep it warm, and have it maybe 10, 20, 15 minutes later or something like that. So you don't have to eat it straight away. Sorry, just going back onto the tablet, you can see here the tablet is now showing an indication. Here we go. So here we go. So it's showing an indication. The next flagging system is 88% complete. The next movement on here is going to place the spatula back, and you know that it's 88% complete, so it's nearly complete, the actual recipe process. Great to see people still joining. That's fantastic. Okay, so do you have a catalogue with prices, Jean-Franz Vonderberg? Okay, I'll do that. Thank you, Jean-Franz, and I look forward to receiving your communication. You're also asking, does he prepare food also, or do you have to do that yourself? What about the cleaning up afterwards? Okay, so no, you have to prepare the food yourself, but like I say, you can nowadays get ingredients already pre-chopped and prepared. In a nutshell, it's like almost ordering a takeaway, but instead of getting takeaway food. Now with takeaway food, I'm not knocking the industry, but takeaway food, You don't know what they put in the sauces. You don't know what they put in the pasta. You don't know how they cooked it. For the commercial and the sort of like the fast food market, it's all about convenience and time. So we also do commercial models, and we've really looked into how the different commercial companies prepare their food, and believe you me, it's the enhancers and the kind of ingredients they use. It's not healthy, but it's convenient at the end of the day. Now, similarly, with the fresh ingredients, you fancy the risotto, rather than going to a takeaway company to have it delivered, you can just order the ingredients. They're delivered to your doorstep. You have to wait for 20, 30, 40 minutes for your delivery anyway. You get these ingredients literally within 20 minutes. You just have to simply prepare them for another 10 minutes. You've loaded fresh ingredients. You've actually you spent the same amount of time, but this is going to be cooked fresh. This is going to be much healthier for you as well. And also you asking, do that yourself. Okay, what about the cleaning up afterwards? Yeah, unfortunately, we haven't got to that phase of cleaning as such, but the containers and the utensils are dishwashable, and also the induction pots are all dishwashable. In terms of cleaning, as you can see, it cooks very, very neatly. There's not much mess on this at all. It doesn't actually require much cleaning, apart from just maybe a little fiber cloth, just give it a wipe down, and that's all the cleaning that's required. The actual arm itself doesn't need any cleaning, because it's on a spatula already gripped by the grippers. So that spatula can just go in the dishwasher. So the cleaning is actually quite minimal. It's not that bad, actually. But no, this is purely, we've designed this purely to be a cooking instrument, a cooking system, and this just simply cooks all the meals. So we are 94% done on this particular recipe, and I can't wait to taste this in a second, and I'll actually try and describe to you how it tastes, because it does smell really good. And I mean, we have this recipe cooked we cook it for demonstrations when we have visits here in the showroom and so on. We cook this for further testing and development as well. So I know for a fact that this particular risotto, I know exactly how it's going to taste, because it's very consistent, because it's timed, the temperature, the timings, the stirring, everything's done exactly as the chef would cook this, and I know that will taste exactly the same every single time. So consistency is very important, and this particular recipe, with all the other recipes, they're all very consistent. Okay, so any more questions? Let's have a look here. Show here RST, why is it taking 52 minutes to make when only takes 20 minutes to make risotto? I don't know what kind of risottos you make, but good quality risottos take this amount of time, to be honest with you, because the rice that we use, it's all quality ingredients. And remember, this has been designed and implemented by a chef. So this is a professional, high-level recipe. The 20-minute risottos, maybe the rice is different, maybe it takes a shorter time to cook the rice. The rice is obviously the main ingredient, because the rice has to be cooked perfectly, not too soft, not too al dente, but just enough crunch to give you that perfect risotto. Now, we've cooked this risotto many times. In fact, we had a function here very recently, and we had a lot of people come in to try all the different demonstrations, and risotto was one of them. So we had a professional chef cook this meal at a different location. The robotic arm was cooking this here at the front of the showroom. We then presented both the risottos to various people, and they couldn't tell the difference. So risotto really does need to be cooked in a certain way to achieve its actual taste. So that's hence why it takes 52 minutes. So this recipe is now done. We're coming up to 99%, coming up to 100%. You can see from the gauge how far it's gone. And I think all that's left for me to do now is to do a taste test and to show you the finished result. So I'm going to grab a bowl and show you exactly how this particular recipe looks, and you'll see all the different ingredients that we've used in there as well. So let's grab this. My spoon is ready. Hello there. So let's try this. So I'm going to make sure I've got all the saffron and everything else as well in there. So here we have. This is restaurant quality, very, very good quality recipe. Risotto. You can see the saffron, salt and pepper. You can see the cheese. You can see the sauce there. It's perfect consistency. The rice is not overdone. It's not stodgy, it's not soft, it's separated nicely, and it's perfect consistency. And I think now what I'm going to do is a taste test. So let's grab a spoon. Okay. Have a spoon there. Very hot. That is really nice. I can even taste the onions. The onions have still got a bit of a crunch in them as well. The onions haven't gone overcooked or gone, you know, soggy in the sauce or anything. It's actually perfect, and it's seasoned perfectly as well. So yeah, that's great. So hope you enjoyed watching our risotto Milanese being cooked from start to finish. As you saw, I didn't have to do anything at all. I just carried on talking. I could be working, I could be doing something else in the house, I could be entertaining, I could be spending time with my friends and family, and it's cooked a lovely meal for me. So join us next week for another tasty recipe, and we'll see you soon. Have a great weekend, and keep cool. The weather is really warm out there, but thank you very much for joining, and see you next week. Bye bye.